Damodara Leela. When the bountiful love binded the boundless Bhagavan. Yashoda, why is she called Yashoda? One who gives fame. Who did Yashoda give fame to? Yashoda gave fame to Krishna. Yashoda, Krishna's fame is because of Yashoda Maya. And through Damodara Leela, Krishna became Damodara, famous as Damodara, because of Yashoda. Therefore, she is Yashoda. Damodara Leela is celebrated as very, very special because this is one Leela where we get to experience Bhagavan's Saulabhya. How he can go to any length in order to make his fulfill the wishes of his devotees. We will see what Bhagavan does, what all he can do in order to make himself accessible to his bhaktas. Sukha uvacha ekada grihadasishu yashoda nandagehini karmantara niyuktasu nirmamanta swayam dadi yani yaniha geetani tadbala charitani cha dadi nirmanthane kale smaranti tani agayata. Yashoda made one decision. Enough is enough. Too many complaints every day. All these gopikas have no other job. Every day they promptly land up, hundreds of them, constantly complaining that my little one is going and stealing their butter. Now I have to put an end to all this. She decides, I will make the best butter in this world. I will make best butter for Krishna. The moment he tastes it, he will immediately stop going out and steal butter from other places. I'm going to do that. Mother Yashoda is planning that. She did not know all the hundreds of gopikas in every other household are planning the same thing. I will make the best butter today so that Krishna will come only to my house. Yashoda is planning. All the gopikas are planning. Krishna is also planning. And which plan eventually works, we all know. Mother Yashoda makes that decision. Shuka says, one fine day, ekada grihadasishu yashoda nandagehini karmantara niyuktasu nirmamanta swayam dadi. Everybody was very busy in the household. Obviously, she had several maid servants, all of them doing several chores. She decided that I will personally start making butter for my Kanha. Nanda had lakhs of cows. Obviously, Vrajabhumi was filled with cows. It seems Yashoda Mata was very particular. Out of these lakhs of cows, she chose few select ones and she started to personally take care of these cows, pamper them, feed them properly so that she can get the best nectarine milk from them, which she can then churn herself. Yashoda Mata teaches us something very important in sadhana. Personal endeavor is so very important when it comes to bhakti. We cannot delegate that to everybody else. We cannot say, I delegate doing my sadhana to somebody else. We can do upward delegation to Krishna of many things, but there is one thing which we cannot neither delegate to him nor to others. We need to personally endeavor. It is not enough if we aspire for Krishna, we also have to perspire for Krishna as well. Yashoda Mata teaches us that. Therefore, she takes up and she also teaches one other very important. Yam yam vapi sparan bhavam tyajatyante kalevaram tam tamevaipi kaunteya sada tadbhava bhagavataha tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mamanusmara yudhyacha. Krishna says, tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mamanusmara yudhyacha. To get Krishna, forgetting Krishna is fatal. So therefore, we need to constantly keep remembering him. Mother Yashoda teaches us how to do. She decides, I'm going to now churn milk, make the best butter for Krishna. And as she starts to churn, what did she do? Yani yani ha geetani tadbala charitani cha. Mother, she not only becomes the best churners of milk, she becomes the best music director, the best lyricist, and the best singer. When we are in bhakti, whether we know to sing, not to sing, we must sing. We can ensure that there is nobody around and then we can sing so that we don't create difficulty for others. But However we sing, Krishna will listen. Krishna will listen. Others may or may not listen, that's a different story, but that should not make us stop singing, because singing Krishna's glories is so very important, because the more we sing, the more we get into absorption in Krishna. And like Yashoda, we should also venture into becoming lyricists. Not difficult at all. Hey Krishna, hey Vasudeva, hey Keshava, hey Janardana, hey Madhava, hey Mukunda, hey Govinda, hey Madhusudana, hey Trivikrama, hey Vamana. That's it. All of us can become great lyricists. We don't need any special lyrics for us to start singing Krishna's glories. In the case of Yashoda, she had lot more to sing. She had Putana Vada, she had Shakatasura Bhanjana, she had Trinavatta Chari, all that. Therefore, Yani Yani Ha Geetani Tad Bala Charitani Cha. She started composing the wonderful songs on Krishna and contemplating on Krishna. One hand she was churning, and it seems the more she started singing, churning became very effortless, and the best of butter was emerging from the churn. Dadi nirmanthane kale smaranti tani agayata. And as she was going about doing this, Yashoda's plan was, I'll make the best butter for Krishna. So Krishna had another plan. Krishna was in another room, and Krishna was sleeping. That's what Yashoda thought. He immediately wakes up. Yashoda Maya cannot bear separation from Krishna. Krishna too cannot bear separation from Yashoda Maya. That is how blessed Yashoda Maya was. The moment Krishna wakes up and looks around, Matha was not there. Immediately, Krishna wants attention from Yashoda. He runs. He goes dashing to where Yashoda is. She was churning. She embraces Mother Yashoda. There and then Yashoda gets the reward of singing. She doesn't need to wait. And this is what happens. Bhagavan gives us rewards then and there. We think rewards are postponed. Bhagavan gives us reward then and there. When we sing an exhilarating bhajan, then and there we are rewarded by Bhagavan. All of us experience this day in and day out. Mother Yashoda's reward was Krishna rushing from the back and gently embracing from the behind, and he holds the rod and says, "Stop, Mate, no more churning. I'm hungry. You have to feed me." Of course, Mother Yashoda immediately drops everything, takes Krishna on her lap and starts feeding and looking at Krishna's smiling face. Mandasmita Mukhambhojam Mahaniya Gunarnavam. And she loses herself as she was feeding Krishna. But she forgets that just a while ago, for making some special sweets for Krishna, she had put a pot of milk on fire in the kitchen. And then, as she was feeding Krishna, suddenly the buzz, the overflow of the milk she hears. Immediately, what she does? She sets aside Krishna, puts him down, and runs into the kitchen. You all wonder, what is this? She is feeding Krishna, and that is what she was waiting for. Why did she do it? For Yashoda, everything she does revolves around Krishna. She is feeding Krishna now. She also is preparing some special dishes for Krishna for the hours to come. So she cannot compromise that also. Every act, every deed she does is revolving around Krishna. So she cannot compromise that. So she runs there. But there is something else interesting here we need to observe. What is actually going on there? She put a pot of milk on the fire in kitchen, and the milk was burning and it was boiling. It seems the milk was waiting so that it can get a turn to be tasted by Krishna. In Vraja, it's not the gopikas, it's not the gopas, it's not the goats, it's not the cows. It is each and every entity, the milk, the butter, the crows, the monkeys, the grass, the trees, the flowers, the bees, the birds, all are thirsting for Krishna Anubhava. It seems the milk was thinking that how fortunate I am going to be consumed by Krishna soon. Mother Yashoda is actually boiling so that Krishna is soon going to consume. She desperately waiting to be of service to Krishna, to be consumed by Krishna. But the moment milk noticed that Krishna was being fed by Yashoda, milk was disappointed and immediately concluded, what is the use of my life? If I cannot be of service to Krishna, I will commit suicide. I will commit suicide. The milk decided that I will overflow outside the pot and fall right into the fire and give my life away. Such was the bhakti of that milk. And when Yashoda Mata rushed, the milk suddenly started repenting. After all, what did I do? As my dear Krishna was being fed by Mother Yashoda, I disturbed that. How can I ever commit this kind of a sin? This is not something I should have done. I have disturbed that loving exchange between Mother Yashoda and Krishna. What kind of activity that I did, and it seems the milk was repenting. And by the time when Yashoda Maya rushed, it once again subsided, realizing that anyway, in another form, it will be of service to Krishna. Soon Yashoda is going to turn it into a sweet and going to serve Krishna. Thus, Mother Yashoda addressed the milk that was about to commit suicide for Krishna. Such was, this is the beauty of Vrajabhumi. Every entity, every atom, every molecule, everything out there is thirsting for Krishna. Krishna Anubhava is filling every pore all over Vrajabhumi. Mother Yashoda, after addressing the milk in the kitchen, rushes once again. She now knows. Mother Yashoda was, it seems, after Krishna's birth, there was not a moment where she walked. She was only running. She was always running from one corner to the other, because always it was running around, either running to do something for Krishna or running to do some activity for Krishna, running around all the time. It seems she's forgotten how to even walk. That was the kind of intensity of love for Krishna. She once again kept running back it was a huge palace, multiple rooms. So from the kitchen, she runs back. In the meantime, Krishna was very upset. How did Maya leave me alone? And why did she go to the kitchen? He was still hungry. He was hungry and angry. And what did the naughty Krishna do? He looked around. He had to show his hunger and anger to Mother Yashoda. There was a big pot of yogurt. What did Krishna do? He took a stone and threw, and immediately the pot broke, and there was yogurt all over the room, flowing all over. After that, immediately Krishna realized, Mother will be upset. I cannot stay here looking at her face. I should run away. So he runs away. But then the room was full of yogurt. So wherever he ran, the footprints were all smeared with yogurt. Little nice, beautiful footprints smeared with yogurt all the way. So he runs all over to another place where Mother Yashoda stored some butter. He goes there with all hunger, starts to eat that butter. Mother Yashoda rushes. She sees a mess in the room where Krishna was. Everywhere, pot, yogurt all around, pot broken. She also could see the trail, Krishna's trail leading, and she could also hear jingle bells, somewhere where Krishna was going around eating butter. On the one hand, she was angry, and the other hand, she was also smiling. She was also happy that in spite of her stopping to feed him, Krishna is taking care. But then she runs to go to see where Krishna is. In the meantime, Krishna knows Yashoda is coming after him. He runs out of the house, goes to the courtyard. And then, following the trail of the footprints smeared with yogurt, Yashoda Maya goes out to the yogurt. What a glorious vision. There, Krishna was seated on an inverted mortar, grinding mortar. He was seated with his both his legs folded, and he was sitting so very majestically. It was like Vaikunthanatha sitting on Adisesha. And he was not just sitting alone. He was having a pot of butter, and he was distributing butter to all the monkeys around. All his monkey friends were all around, and he was distributing. The moment Yashoda Mata saw not just Krishna enjoying the butter, all the monkeys feasting on it, she was overcome with anger. Immediately she looked around, and there was a stick handily available. She immediately picked up the stick and she started rushing. All the monkeys looked at Mother Yashoda, started running from there, started to flee. And Krishna immediately jumped down, and obviously, his Leeladhari starts to tremble with fear, with eyes brimming with tears. Fears and tear, combination, the best combination that anyone can put together. But then He doesn't, because Yashoda Mata this time is really furious. She is rushing with a stick in hand. What does Krishna do? He looks at her, he knows something is going to happen now. He runs, and Mother Yashoda runs after him. That is where the game Catch Me If You Can begins. Catch me if you can. Bhagavan loves to play this game with us. Catch me if you can. We all are trying to catch him. All through our lives, all our sadhanas, everything that we do is to see if we can really grasp him, really catch him. And we keep miserably failing. Ultimately, winning in this game of life is essentially winning the game called Catch Me If You Can. This is what Bhagavan gives us this game and says, are you capable of winning in this? Moksha is winning in this life called Catch Me If You Can. Now, the chase begins. Krishna is running, and it's a large courtyard. Krishna is running, Mother Yashoda is chasing. Suddenly the news spreads around. Entire news spread around Gokula. All the gopikas now are, some are thrilled, some are worried. What is happening? And the news is spreading around. Hey, Mother Yashoda is going to punish Krishna. Mother Yashoda is going to punish Krishna. So they're all worried. Oh my God, how can this Mother Yashoda punish Krishna? They all come running. Suddenly, it's like people running to watch a cricket match. Suddenly, it's like the courtyard of Nanda's palace becomes like a stadium. Krishna is running around. Yashoda is chasing, running around, and there is a huge audience cheering. Some cheering for Yashoda, some cheering for Krishna. All of them were praying, let Mother Yashoda not punish our Krishna. And the little ones are thinking, after all, mothers will end up always winning. They will end up. So Krishna is going to have a nice whack today. But all the young gopikas, their hearts were pining. My Krishna is going to be punished by Yashoda. Seems as they were running, Yashoda was, after a while, she was panting. Her heart was beating, and she was not able to catch up. Krishna, as he was running, he could see that Mother Yashoda was perspiring, and Krishna decides that possibly it is time for me to allow myself be caught. Shuka says that Bhagavan, who can never be caught by anyone, is easily caught by that cowherdess called Yashoda. Nachantar na bahiryasya na purvam napi chaparam purvaparam bahischantar jagatoyo jagatchayaha tammatvatadpajam avyaktam matyalingam adokshajam gopiko lukhale damna babanda prakritam yatha. Gopika ulukale damna babanda prakritam yatha. Yashoda catches, and the moment she catches Krishna, somehow she doesn't have the heart to whack him with the stick. She was holding the stick, but the moment she gets closer to Krishna, she realizes, no, I am incapable of, you're beating him with the stick. So she throws the sticks away. Then she sees that grinding mortar there. She says, I think I must tie this little naughty boy to the mortar so that he will stop running around and creating mess all over. Nachantar na bahiryasya na purvam napi chaparam. That Bhagavan, who has no ending, no beginning, no front, no back, no inside, no outside, that Purushottama, that Parameshwara, the one who is the Karana of all this creation, the source of all sources, he allows himself, and whom Mother Yashoda considered tam matvatadmajam avyaktam martyalingam adokshajam. Even though he takes martyalingam, just like the form looks like an ordinary human-like form, but it is not a human-like form. It is not Bhagavan. Even when he takes a human-like form, his form is Shuddha Sattvamaya, and therefore he is adhokshaja. He cannot be perceived very easily. Such Bhagavan now is being bound. Mother Yashoda is trying him. Gopika ulukale damna. Uluka is the mortar. Babanda prakritam yata. She takes a rope that was available immediately, and she goes around and asks Krishna, stay here. puts him to the mortar and starts tying him to the mortar. Again, something magical, something unexpected happens. She starts tying around. The length of the rope is not good enough to tie Krishna's tiny waist. She finds out 2 fingers short. The rope falls exactly 2 fingers short. He says, okay, let me go get another rope. She takes another rope, lengthens, ties it to the first rope, makes the rope longer. She again starts to tie Krishna's belly. Again, with the extended rope, once again, it falls 2 fingers short. He's wondering what's going on. She takes another rope, again ties it to this rope. The rope becomes still longer, starts tying it around. After again, she finds out it once again falls 2 fingers short. All the gopikas are looking around. They are also in awe. What's going on? Some of them also try to help, bringing various ropes. The rope is growing in length. Every time she is trying to tie it around, it is falling 2 fingers short. Mother Yashoda was going on, doing it. In that process, Shuka also captures the beauty. Mother Yashoda's hair was decked up with all beautiful flowers. As she was doing this, all these flowers were falling down, actually falling on Krishna's feet. It's like basically pleasing Krishna. Krishna looked at Mother Yashoda. She was perspiring. Her heart was beating. She was getting tired, but she was not giving up. Krishna decided, I have to do something about it. And we may also wonder, what is this 2 fingers short? What is the secret to this? Why is this happening? Immediately, Shuka tells Parikshit, Swamatuhu swinnagatraya visrasta kabarasrajaha drishtva parishramam krishnaha kripayasit swabandhane. You see, immediately Krishna lets himself to be bound by the rope that she was using. He said, Mother Yashoda was perspiring all over. Swamatuhu swinnagatraya visrasta kabarasrajaha, with flowers from her hair falling down. Drishtva parishramam krishnaha. This is the word, so very important. Drishtva parishrama. Parishrama is our individual effort. Krishna sees Yashoda's parishrama, determined effort. Kripayasit swabandhane. Krishna becomes merciful and agrees to be bound. The word here to be underlined is agree. He agrees to be bound. He is not bound by Yashoda. He agrees to be bound. Why every time Yashoda's endeavor is failing short by 2 fingers? The 2 fingers, the fulfillment of any endeavor requires 2 important factors. Parishrama, Krishna Kripa. Individual effort and Bhagavan's grace. Without both of this, no endeavor can get fulfilled. This is where Krishna reveals a very important secret, that when he looks, and how do we evoke his grace? How do we attract his grace? This is what Yashoda Mata teaches us. We are infinitesimal. He is infinite. Whatever we do, the infinitesimal cannot attain the infinite. The infinite has to allow the infinitesimal to reach. Therefore, what Krishna basically looks at, he looks at the parishrama. The individual effort, a bhakta's effort attracts Bhagavan's mercy. Bhakta's effort evokes. Therefore, how do we become chosen one? We become chosen one only when we continue to do what we are supposed to do. We have to continue with our individual effort. When he chooses, how he chooses, why he chooses is with him. But his kripa is invoked by our parishrama. So therefore, Yashoda demonstrates how do we attract Krishna's mercy. Shuka looks at Parikshit and immediately says, Evam sandarshita hyanga harina vrityavashyata svavashenapi krishnena yasyedam sheshwaram vashe. Svavashenapi krishnena yasvedam sheshwaram vashe. He is the controller of all controllers. The entire universe is being controlled by him. Hey Parikshit, that controller, that supreme controller, evam sandarshitahyanga harina bhritya vashyata. Bhritya means servant. The master of all masters allows himself to be controlled by his own servant, his own dasa, his own bhakta. Such is the glory. The supreme controller allows himself to come under the control of his devotees. Vamanyagopaggrahagavyamrutam Yashoda Gurvitmadiyam Avamanam Amrishyamanam Premnatadhama Mamanavam Premnatadhama Parinama Dadabhavanda Tadrik Nate Charitam Adya Jana Sahante. Tadrik Nate Charitam Adya Jana Sahante. Puresha says, the moment Krishna was tied by Yashoda, Arya Janaha, all the rishis, acharyas, arvars, Shukha cannot bear the pain of Krishna being tied. It seems while Shukha was narrating this to Parikshit, that Yashoda Maya was tying Krishna with a rope, it seems Shukha swooned then and there, became unconscious for a while. Parikshit swooned and became unconscious. Therefore, we have to pause for Parikshit to collect himself again to continue with the narration. What a glorious moment for a supreme bhakta to experience Bhagavan's Bhritya Vashyata. Bhagavan's Bhritya Vashyata. His Saulabhya, his readiness to be under control of his own bhakta. What all Krishna can do in order to attract us. Everything that he is doing is for only one reason. Somehow or the other, attract us so that we get onto the path of reaching him and him alone. His cheshtitas will continue. Will we change our ways is a question that we need to ask ourselves. Until we come back after a slightly long break, let Shukha's swoon continue. He is absorbed in Krishna Trishna. Let us all stay absorbed in Krishna for the next several weeks to come until we come back to further relish Damodara Leela. Jai Sri Krishna. Sarvam Krishnarpanastu.